welcome to Season 3 of You're Not Alone with Townsend. My name is Townsend, and if you've followed my journey, you know that I'm not only a musician, but I'm also a mental health advocate. I use my platform to help spread awareness, love, build community, and simply help people feel less alone in their struggles. In the last couple of years, I've had the chance to interview people from all over the world about a huge variety of mental health topics, and I cannot thank each of you enough for helping us continue to shine a light on the world. Every other week this season, we're bringing you the best interviews we've had. Make sure to like and follow this podcast if you're enjoying it. And if you want to keep up with everything we've got going, follow us on socials at Townsendtmusic. Hope you enjoy. What is up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of You're Not Alone with Townsend. I, of course, am your host, Townsend. I've got a special guest today, actually someone local. I see her face everywhere. She definitely knows how to promote, which I love. She does so much for the community. She is friends of friends of friends. I feel like everybody I know, she knows, which is so cool. So I love when we have the chance to get together and just see all that she does for all our small community. She is Dr. Amanda Bledsoe. We're going to be talking about chiropractic work, what she does, why she got into that. And I also want to touch on how that can affect your mental health. So Dr. Bledsoe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. You know, I always got to comment, everybody knows you for your hair. That's like your thing.
Do. They do. Like, it's on my shirt. It's funny. I was at the gym yesterday and I love stickers. And so I have Bledsoe stickers and I had one on my cup, and my personal trainer's in Little Rock and he's like, "Is that your face on your cup?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And then I'm like, "That's my logo, by the way." Like, I don't just have a sticker because I'm vain. Like, it's my logo.
That is so, I never thought about that, for people to be like, you have a picture of your face?
Oh, I walked in a business once and this sweet little young girl, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you have your face on your shirt." And I'm like, "Yes, it's my business, but thanks." Yeah.
That is so, well, I guess that's kind of like me. I got my name on my car. I guess if you don't know me, you'd be like, what a jerk.
Yeah, they say that at the cleaners. They're like, "Wow, you just personalized your car." And I'm like, "Well, it's a business, but to market a little more so that you know what it is."
Literally, my outlook is, if I'm going to be driving across the country for music, I might as well be a promotional ad.
That's right.
That's right. It. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Bledsoe, I always like to let my guests kind of do a little introduction of themselves. I feel like you could probably do yourself more justice than I could. And I want to learn a little bit about you myself. So throw us your name, your age, what is your job title, whatever you'd like my guests to know about you.
Okay. Well, I'm Amanda Bledsoe. I am 44 years old. I'll be 45 in November. I'm a native Arkansan. I live in Little Rock, and my business is Bledsoe Chiropractic right here in beautiful Conway, Arkansas. I was just talking to somebody who was wondering, like, who's the CEO, who's the CFO? And I'm like, that's me and me. We do run I'm very much owner and operator. So I'm a chiropractor by trade, an entrepreneur by choice, I guess, and grew into that role. And also we run a system called EOS. So I'm the visionary. You know, that's probably my favorite role, is when I get to just step above and just come up with ideas. And I'm kind of a marketing genius too. So I enjoy that's kind of what today's hat has been all about, marketing. So I love that.
Okay, I can totally vouch for that. I feel like I see your logo everywhere and it always catches my eye. So absolutely, marketing genius. Yeah, I love it. Like, that's so cool. Did you get a degree or anything in that, or you just learned as you go?
Did not. And I was just having lunch and I thought of an idea at lunch and I'm like, that's just my natural marketing brain. And I don't say it to be braggy and so the fact that the Lord has blessed me to where I get to be marketing person. And I got to do that even when I worked for another business. Like, they saw my marketing. And the funny thing is, marketing kind of got me in trouble in my first 2 jobs because it wasn't valued or appreciated. And it is kind of expensive too. And so then finally my third boss that I stayed with for 11 years, she, for the most part, let me run wild with it, and it exploded her business. And then basically I just took that in my business and tried everything that she wouldn't let me do. I thought I would try that at least once. And that was kind of what I started with, almost like I'll show you. And I checked out, radio, billboards. Probably the thing that has been the biggest hit that she said no to was billboards. And a lot of it was, well, what do we put up there? Okay, well, let's just put my face. How about we just try that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I love it. I love it. You
Yeah.
kind of, it's like a little bit of everything, which is so respected. You talked about
Yeah.
how entrepreneurship, you kind of chose that, but I feel like the life kind of chose you. You know what I mean?
It did. I was a little hesitant on that. It is a choice, but I wasn't an entrepreneur until I had been a chiropractor for about 12 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of people make that choice right away. And I don't regret making it at later. I feel like I learned a lot of things, and I needed my kids to be a certain age. I needed our life to be in a certain stage where I was ready to be an entrepreneur. I mean, you've probably seen those memes on Facebook, that business owners go through more stress, in a day than would kill most people. I mean, so it's a weird choice, but I think a calling is probably more like I just ran into somebody who even said, they left my former employer, over things that I wanted to do a little different or better. And that's the whole point. The beauty of being able to be a business owner is to have the freedom to do it the way you see fit. There's room for everybody. I'm a big fan of collaborative and like, community. So there's plenty of room, especially in chiropractic. Like, we're serving as a whole less than 10% of the population. So it's an underserved, the market, the harvest is plenty for all chiropractors, and there's room for everybody to do it their way.
Yeah, absolutely. What is chiropractic care? Like, what does
Mhm.
your job
Mhm.
entail for the people that don't even know? Are you enjoying this conversation? This project is funded by patrons and sponsors, so if you like what you hear and you'd like to help us continue changing lives in 2024, we would love to have you join the family. Reach out to us at townsendtmusic@hotmail.com if you'd like to be a sponsor, or hop on patreon.com/townsendtmusic to join the patron family. As a thank you, you're going to receive extra podcast questions and content every episode, discounts, exclusive content, and so much more. So join the family and let's continue changing lives.
Chiropractic is the neat thing, and I have two kids, and I have encouraged them to be chiropractors because I think, I've done a lot of investigating on other careers, and it's very unique in that it's a science, it's a philosophy, and it's an art. And so, you want to be there. We need optometrists, and we need dentists, and we need all these things, orthopedists, but none of them are that tri-level, and so the philosophy is really neat. I didn't even know really what all chiropractic was when I got into it. But then as I learned, I knew the science part, and they compared medical doctor to chiropractic and sort of sold me on chiropractic care, as a good admissions department of a chiropractic school in Kansas City. But I learned that philosophy and art, and it fed into my faith, that we go with, we have a good, smart, well-created body. And so that philosophy was there. And I was like, wow, I can even take my faith and my career and bleed that together. And I've got to do that. Entrepreneur has allowed me to lean into that even more too. And that's a blessing. And our community is very gracious, to allow that too. And that's been a neat blessing. But it's basically do no harm, of course, is what medical doctors would do, but we try to do no invasive things. So we're not it's more of an inside out kind of thing. Instead of putting something in or taking something out like a surgery or putting in a medicine, we're going the most non-invasive thing possible to just allow the body to get back to normal healing. So we're typically working on a big word called subluxation that we typically rarely use that word, but it's slightly less than a dislocation, but something is out of place. Most people are saying, I think I've got a pinched nerve. And so we're working on getting rid of that pressure. It's not completely pinched off, but we try to lean into the vernacular that people are familiar with, but we're trying to unimpinge things again without drugs or shots or surgeries and allow those nerves to flow freely to where then their hand isn't numb, their leg isn't numb, their head doesn't hurt. So, 90% of what nerves do is actually organ function. So that's where we help people on the non-traditional side, just because that's what the nerves do. I had a lady, 10% of what the nerves do is actually cause pain. And most people have had nerve impingement for many, many years before they finally kind of make their body mad enough that the pain comes out. And then they think, oh my gosh, what did I do? I fell apart at 40. Nope, you've been falling apart your whole life. You just really didn't know it until it got really mad. And maybe it was pregnancy, or maybe it was a car accident, or maybe it was I fell in a hole. And those were the precipitating events. to bring to light something. So that's where a big part of my job is helping people understand, how did I get this way? And it's not the shoes you wore yesterday. It's not the Disneyland trip last week. It's bigger than that. And we want to help you get over this hump really, really quickly. And I think when I try to refer people to other places, I'm trying to avoid MRIs and drugs and shocks and surgeries. So I'm trying to get them hope really, really quickly. That's our whole mission, giving hope through healing, get them feeling hope to where they know this pain is not normal and it's typically not cancer. You're not going to die. There's hope. Let's get you some relief and get them involved in the process to where, it's 50-50. I'm doing 50% of the work in the office. I need them to be ready. That's kind of where our target market is, people that are tired of hurting, ready to, even pay their hard-earned money if they need to, but we try to make it as affordable as possible. I had a lady last week, she has fantastic insurance. She doesn't owe a dime for her 30 visits, but she said, I want you to know, if I need more care and I need to pay money, I will pay money because I believe in this and I want to feel better. And we're like, man, if I had 1 million of you, because that's not the typical, but all this circle on that 90%, 10%, I had a lady said, I don't want any of those other positive side effects. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't create the body. So when I adjust you, you really are likely going to sleep better. Your energy is going to be better. Your immune system is going to function better because your nerves control everything. So that's a neat thing too, that you don't get in dentistry or optometry. Like that's very specialized. And that's the neat thing. Chiropractors can specialize. They only see babies or they only see pregnant women or they only see athletes. We are very much broad, all the tools, all the options, all the kinds of people. You want a female doctor, you want a male massage therapist, you want an instrument adjustment. I mean, like we just have options for everything for everybody. And you get those positive side effects as well.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Pretty
who wouldn't want that? What in the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. So there's some differing opinions, to say the least, on whether chiropractic care is beneficial or not. Some people come in and they're like, it's total hogwash. And then some people think it is the be all save all. So what do you think the pros are? Like, how could you put those myths to sleep?
Well, and I love this question. I was thinking about this morning. Again, the nice thing is if we're non-invasive, if we're doing the most gentle, safe, natural thing we can do, what do you have to lose? And so then even if all that is true and you don't even want a manual adjustment, then we go all the way to the gentlest, safest instrument adjustment where there is no rotation, all those things. Like you literally have nothing to lose. And here's the thing. You're likely already on some kind of medication, whether it be over-the-counter prescription. So you're already putting something in and it's not working. And you've had CTs, you've had MRIs, you may have even had surgery. Like we're a last resort for a whole lot of people. So it's very rarely that we're their first option. It's an honor when we are. I feel, like it's our calling to try to get it to where there is more, awareness to where people are trying it. But let's start with this. And we're going to work on the first day. So that's a pro. My friend is going for an MRI today. People think that that's going to fix it, and granted, we're always learning. So we're happy to have the knowledge. We want to know if there's something worse going on or something that we need to be aware of to modify our treatments. But we're going to go gentle, safe, and comfortable, assuming the worst, even to where if you've got a major disc herniation, I'm still going to be treating you gentle enough that if it's just a pinched nerve, which it mostly is, we're addressing that. And that way, we're experimenting in a gentle way with your body, with our techniques and the typical to help you avoid drugs and shocks and surgeries and expensive treatments. I mean, I get people that they're crying because they're still paying off a year's worth of testing that was just testing. It wasn't any treatment. And I hate that, and I can't go backwards, but at least, that's where we are. It's a physical, that's what, sometimes even to me, I'm like, physical medicine, what does that even mean? Well, that's what we do. Like we're actually, getting to work with positive healing touch and not in a woo-woo way, but I mean, there's a lot to just our welcoming atmosphere and that we're going to put a hand on your shoulder and say, we hear you and we see you. I mean, like that's some people, almost like a flower coming back to life, blossom just from that. There's hope. Trust me while we work on this. But again, we're going so gentle, and we had a lady who came from Colorado. She moved here and her son was in Colorado, and he's an MD, and he's like, Mom, I don't know about this. You trying chiropractic thing. She's never tried it. But again, she's 2 years of hopelessness and pain and wants to live life. And she's like, I think I should just give it a try. And I'm like, yeah. And so she pulls up to our office that has since closed in Maumelle. But we do this in Conway too. We have scriptures on the windows and positive things. And she pulled up and she sent her son a picture of that scripture on the window and said, I think I'm in the right place. And that's before she ever walked in, before she met me, and she was really in happy tears that I've got some hope, and then let's give it a try. We don't have a crystal ball. We're not perfect. There's a rare few that do. We're going to work with other professionals and find. We're tenacious. So even if we have to help you advocate for yourself and fight to get you an MRI approved or get you into that specialist, we're going to do everything we can first, just because we know it's probably going to be the less expensive route. It's going to be the fastest route to keep you working and living. And we take all of that into consideration because it's about the patient.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think in some more medical, we'll use that term, hospital settings, you can feel like a number.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's nice to be personalized. I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they've been told they're crazy a lot of times. And so I think I didn't realize how many people that was true for. And so when I say that, I'm not expecting, almost just expecting life. Good news, you're not crazy. But they're like, are you kidding? I've literally been told I'm crazy, because they're looking for nothing's broken. So again, we rule out all this stuff. And then the medical world goes, I don't see anything. And they're just looking at it with different eyes. And there's something smaller in there that we can fix.
Yeah. Actually, from personal experience, I don't even know if you remember a handful of years ago, I came to you personally because it was the same thing. I'd been to the doctor and I've been to this and I've been to that because I hold a guitar for so long, for so many years. It became off balance and it affected my wrist. And they were literally dumbfounded. They had no answers for me and were trying to give me medications and all this mess that I didn't want to take. Right. And so I went to you and you were immediately like, this is what's happening. Like, it's probably coming from here and this is what we can do. And gave me some options and like exercises. And it ended up just being that, like an easy fix.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people are afraid. And again, there's a place for, we have a very dear friend that needs cancer treatments. And so, there's a place for medicine and I'm so grateful that we have those advances, but there's so many that it's not broken. It doesn't require surgery. It's less than that. So then it's like, what do we do? And that's where we pair both physical therapy and chiropractic in our same office to where a lot of times they've tried physical therapy. They've tried chiropractic. They've done massage. They maybe just haven't done them all at the same time. They haven't done it often enough. So we're really good with treatment plans, get you better as quick as possible. But we want to give you the option to stay better if you want to. And then giving them homework. And it's really simple, basic homework. But people are like, oh my gosh, you were right. That helped. And nobody else has told me that.
Literally. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'm not bashing medical professionals and doctors at all. So thankful for them and what they do. Yeah. It was just, like I said, I think you can't see it sometimes. And so they're like, we don't know. Here's some medicine. Try that. Okay. So on that note, do you feel like everyone should see a chiropractor or is it you know what I mean? Because I honestly feel like everyone could benefit from a counselor. Do you feel like that for chiropractor?
We promote that too. I really do, and so that's kind of why I mentioned sometimes their first time to a chiropractor is because they're pregnant and they just now have enough. They've got to get over that hump to it's out of place and there's pressure on a nerve, but something typically has to push them over the cliff of really needing it. And then we're there to say, good news, you're going to feel better. Sometimes even while you're getting more pregnant every day, but if we see them, let's say 25 weeks pregnant, we get them better than they were before they were pregnant, before they get worse and they're about to have a baby. Or the same thing with a car accident. I'm going to get them better from that car accident quickly. And typically they're going to leave even better than before that. So that's where, when I was talking about brush your teeth or dentistry, it's going to take a long time, I suppose, but that's the goal. Everybody brushes their teeth. Everybody, goes to the dentist. Everybody has a spine. And so it's just awareness and education. And, I've been in practice almost 19 years. So I'm definitely seeing much more people now than when I was starting out, that the vast majority have probably tried chiropractic at some point in their life. They're now just trying it again, or they've done physical therapy. So the awareness is getting there, but we're still serving a very small percentage of the population, especially compared to dentistry. So everybody has a spine. And the thing with dentistry is there's dentures for the teeth. There are no dentures for the spine. So a lot of times I'm taking care of, getting the plaque off, so to speak, the fast stuff. But then I'm talking to him about a cavity that I can't feel, that nobody can. It's not to the point. And so it's not just let's watch it. It's let's do this. And the cavity is your discs. So it's what can we do to help keep that disc healthy? We already see some osteoarthritis or a disc issue, and you're 45 or you're 65, and it's either pretty common for your age or it's premature. I have premature disc degeneration because I've had scoliosis for 30 years. That's what got me into this. And so I know, I'm right there on the journey with them to try to go, what can we do proactive? And so many, I think more than ever, are coming in because they've seen their parents or their grandparents have certain issues, have certain pains, have certain interventions, and they don't want that. And so I'm helping them go, there is another way. And I'm glad that got you here.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of that, yeah, you had vaguely mentioned you had scoliosis. Is that what got you into this field?
It is. Yep. So when I was 8, I decided I wanted to be a medical doctor.
Yeah.
And I thought about pediatrics or obstetrics. And so I majored in pre-med biology at UCA. By the time I got to be actually at 18 years old is when I first started getting adjusted. So I was beginning undergrad and beginning chiropractic. And so exploring that, got diagnosed with scoliosis at 14, even had foot issues at 8. And so we do a lot with the feet. And I understand way more now where the feet has to do with the spine and scoliosis, and it's all connected. And so that people don't get, even in chiropractic, they don't get that spine, foot, head to toe connection as far as where that comes from. So by the time I was a senior in college, I started thinking maybe chiropractic is actually the avenue of a doctor, that I want to go down. And again, had a really good chiropractic school that showed me kind of the difference between medical and chiropractic and the science courses and all of this. And I was like, that looks like a good option for me. And it would be a good career that'd be good for me as a potential wife in the future and mother. And like I said, I knew very little, didn't know how little I knew going into it other than it had helped me. I was a 4-year patient by the time I went to chiropractic school at 22. Some people, their first adjustment is in chiropractic school, right. But a lot of folks, are a patient and then decide, oh my gosh, I want to do this. And so that was me. And I'm able to help people. So we'll see sometimes 3 in a week that are 12, 13, 14-year-old kids that are male or female that have been diagnosed. The sad thing, there's been so many advances in medicine, but when it comes to the spine and scoliosis, I get it. There's only so many research dollars and all these things, so they're fighting cancers, and I totally understand that. The way they treat scoliosis, like even at a local children's hospital, is identical today as it was 30 years ago. Yeah. And I hear that from the patients, from their mothers, and I'm like, I hate that it's exactly the same, and it's a lot of fear and there's a brace, which is terrible for a 14-year-old kid, and it doesn't do a whole lot. And there's surgery, and that's it. Yeah. And they're not sending much to therapy or chiropractic. And so that's sad to me. And so thankfully, that's where we use videos and marketing and word of mouth and referrals and the internet. My mom, I still have to tell her, it's okay that you didn't know about chiropractic when I was 14. Because we didn't have the internet. And I got referred by my Spanish teacher as a senior in high school to a chiropractor she went to church with. And so I tell that story, and I'm constantly encouraging folks to share their story and refer, just as simple as maybe you should try my chiropractor. That's it. That could change their life, Yeah. So word of mouth is a powerful way that people find us. They need to borrow someone's trust. And so, we're always trying to do our very best with each patient because that could influence the next person that really needs us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you think, I always like to tie my topics into mental health. So do you feel like the chiropractic work you do could positively affect your mental health or even play a part in your overall mental health?
Absolutely. And, we just shot videos in May about mental health. I did a video just about it in general. And then we even interviewed a couple of our massage therapists because we do massage, and how both of us just see the countenance of people change with that physical touch. I've seen folks that didn't even know they were depressed from the pain alone until they got better. And then they're like, holy cow, I didn't know. And look at me now, you can just see a difference. But I've also worked with counselors in the past. And so I kind of got to do sort of an unofficial case study to where they're sending me their patients that they're working on with anxiety, depression, sleep issues, and we help all three of those. So, and there's still a need. They may literally be on medicine and seeing a counselor and taking supplements from my office and getting adjusted and getting a massage and exercising. And, like it's a whole package, and we love to be, just a part of that. So it absolutely affects, again, the nerves are connected to everything. So
Right.
even if it's as simple as to have better mental health, your body needs to be able to shut down and sleep better. Your body, if you're just stressed all the time from the physical level, if we can at least take the physical down, the mental's not going to be as bad, or the mental, I mean, it's just all connected. So everybody's body is different, but so many times we can just see a difference.
How interesting.
And
I love it.
that's both kids and adults. So we get a lot of kids, attention deficit, or different things that have to do with more mental and emotional stability. We've got a kid that's been coming to us for over a year, and a typical patient, they're going to come less and less. This kid's mother has recognized he performs differently in school and in life with 2 adjustments a week for more than a year, and he may need that level for many more years, until maybe he gets older. I don't know. He may need that forever. Thankfully she's got an insurance that covers that, to where they can do that. And she's seen that be such an impact on his life.
Wow. How cool is
So
that? That's amazing.
pretty neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is super amazing. Well, what does self-care look like for you as a doctor with all this knowledge? I know people question you all the time and are always asking questions and coming to you for counseling, really, to help heal
Mm-hmm.
them. But what helps
Mm-hmm.
you re-energize?
Well, a lot of that list that I just rattled off is me. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I take a truckload of supplements every day. We offer supplements in our office. We're definitely not going to cram them down your throat, or make you feel bad for taking ibuprofen. It's all the things. I do a silver nose spray every day. I've done it since probably 2017 or 2018, like back when all we had around was the flu. And so that kept me safe from the flu and largely from COVID. So it just helps kill all that allergies and sinus. Silver is a powerful healer. Like, people even will put silver ointment, to heal for first aid purpose, but it comes in an oral spray or a nose spray. And so I do silver spray every day. I take vitamins, and most of my vitamins are either for mental health, like L-theanine is a very powerful, just natural supplement that even my pharmacist friend was like, she vouched for L-theanine being so good. And again, you can use it right alongside traditional, like, anxiety medicine. So L-theanine. So I'm typically taking supplements that are immune boosting. As I'm 30 years of chronic pain with scoliosis, several of my supplements are anti-inflammatory, natural supplements, bone, ligament, muscle supplements, cortisol because of female and hormones and managing cortisol. So I take a lot of those. I exercise. I started playing tennis last year, so I love that. I probably the worst thing I do is I'm trying to do better with food, but that's probably my weakest area, is eating. But I do exercise 7 to 9 times a week. I will probably play tennis 7 hours this week, and then I have a personal trainer. But I love it. It is fun and social, and a lot of times I'm able to do it play tennis with my husband. He says he's out tomorrow night because it's going to be 110, and I'm like, bring it on. I'm going to drink plenty. I just bought a new water bottle that's like 65 ounces, and I'm getting some new mineral, magnesium, salt, electrolyte stuff. So I'm ready to go. So, but that's added to just I go to a counselor, so at least once a month. And so even just that, have fun as a business owner, I have to make time to have fun. And so I love, I even came into work closer to 10 yesterday and today so that I could prioritize self-care. So sitting on my back deck, I do a gratitude journal and a devotional every morning. I have blessed with a half acre in the middle of West Little Rock where I have 35 trees, and I watch the squirrels run through the trees. So I do a lot, and people are like, I don't know how you do it all. And I'm like, well, it starts with the exercise at 6 a.m. and getting up typically at 5:30 and being on prioritizing. If I'm going to be 30 minutes late for work, I'm still going to get 30 minutes on this deck before I go to work.
I love
and
it.
then sometimes I play tennis in the morning, and then I may play tennis at 6 in the morning and 6:30 at night, to where I'm exercising the demons on both ends of the day. And it's not demons of the day, but just getting the stress out as quickly as possible, and the detox. I've just recently gotten facials back in the routine. So about once every 6 weeks, facials. I get a massage at least once a week. I'm blessed to have access to massage therapists at my place, but I also support another local massage therapist, and I'm on her membership program. So I get an out of the office 1 hour every month. So I do a lot. One of my first self-care things that I started doing before I even opened my own business, as crazy as it sounds, was getting my nails done with a fellow chiropractor back in 2017. So other than COVID, I have been consistent with these nails since then. Of course, I work with my hands. Even today, I've got a nail that is missing some polish right there on video. So I'm like, ah. So I mean, but that initially was just an act of, you can make an hour for yourself every 2 weeks. Like, you are worth it. And that, I'm a big fan of habit stacking. And so I read a lot. That's probably some of my self-care too. I'm in a mastermind all the time with a local coach. And so I'm always, I thought this morning, I'm like, I have a paper book going, like a physical book. Yeah. I have a book on Kindle going, and I have a book on Audible, like pretty much all the time.
That's so funny, man. Oh man. Yeah. I think as an entrepreneur, so my brain is kind of the same way. My friends are all like, do you sit ever? And the answer is no. I like to go, and I like to do, and I like to enjoy.
I'm reading, or I'm sitting in the pool, or I'm asleep. I'm kind of on or off. So if I'm going to be off, I still have to keep my mind going. And then I don't need to sit too much. So that's where I love my pool, to where I can be standing and reading in the pool. And even the pool was self-care. When I lived out in the country, we had an above ground pool, and I walked to that sucker every night. And that was what I looked forward to at the end of the day, was walking in that pool. And that was good for me.
That's it. I'm taking this as an invitation to your pool, by the way.
Yes,
I will
be over.
There. I will be there tomorrow.
It's literally the coolest pool in town because of those 30 trees. So yesterday was the warmest I think I've ever been at my pool. And it's still, I mean, the water is probably 80, 85 at the most.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely. Yeah. I think people also forget, as an entrepreneur and a business owner and a mom and a wife and everything else, making time for yourself and for your mental health is so hard. Like, I'm the same way. We're kind of the same person. In the morning, I start off with a devotional and a gratitude and a journal, and like putting out my to-do list. And I have to schedule in mental care, like self-care.
Yep.
Forget about it. It's easy.
Well, and I literally have to put it on the calendar. I did good this year. Last year I was very haphazard with my counseling. And so this year they were so smart, and they're like, can we put you on just once a month? Well, and I said, yes. But then I didn't get those dates plugged into my calendar. So I get an email the day before. So it's supposed to be today at noon. I said, no, I can't do that. But would you tell me what are my next 2 appointments? And now they're on the calendar, and I'm gonna hold to it. So
hold to it.
It's helpful. 8 weeks is just about too long. And so I like having that rhythm. And I honor other businesses that are trying to do what we do, which is, if you wait until you really need it, you're not going to make time to pick up the phone call. Everything's going to be burning down. When I talked to her last Monday, that was probably a reschedule. And I was like, this was the perfect, maybe it's 2 Mondays ago. Like, I couldn't have gotten in if I'd have tried to get in that day, but thankfully it was already there. And of course, there's plenty of life that's going to happen in 1 to 2 months that you're going to need to talk about it. So I'm a big proponent. We provide health insurance for our employees, which has excellent mental health coverage, and we remind them use it. So there's been probably at least 2, if not more, team members that have started counseling in the last 6 months because of our encouragement. Wow. And just really normalizing it. I've had employees that were afraid to even use the word anxiety, with me, their boss, or with their coworkers. And I'm like, we're a safe space for that, because we're going to talk to our patients about it, So we want to practice what we preach. We want to be okay and use those words, because it's out there.
Absolutely. Interesting.
It's all around us.
I feel like counseling is kind of like an oil check for your car. You go in and you kind of like tune up, make sure everything's okay. And
yes,
that's it. Yeah. So so as we wrap this up, what do you wish people knew about your line of work? So if they were to take away one thing, what would it be?
I think that you have, I think a lot of people they've got some anxiety or some fear that I'm going to make them do a certain thing. And so we really try to listen and learn and give you choices. So we're going to respect what you come to the table with, and respect that your body. I think that's so refreshing, because typically there's a lot of almost deity to what they're used to in the medical community of do this or else, or, they're going to disappointed in you, or there's going to be some kind of judgment. And we try really hard to listen and respect your choices, but just give you some education about this is what we would suggest, and that there's choices. Nobody's going to make you do anything. It's okay to just come get checked out. That there's more than one way to do this. Especially when it comes to manual adjusting, there's more than one way to adjust. There's honestly about 200 chiropractic techniques, and we probably do 3 or 4, maybe 5 in our office. And so there's choices, and there's find a place that listens to you and wants to come alongside your journey. Not all chiropractors are the same, but neither are medical doctors or dentists or dermatologists or anything else. I've switched all of those things before, so that's advocate for your health. And it's way more than one thing, but I'm a firm process. I have to give them 10 things, but yeah, don't be afraid. Give it a try and make decisions.
Yeah. I love that. Very good. Yeah. And it's kind of like anything else. If it doesn't fit your vibe or what you need, try somebody else out. Just help yourself.
Well, and that's the neat thing, that we really try to be a one-stop shop, to where, okay, yes, there could be a place where you don't resonate with any of our 5 female chiropractors, or, we've got female massage therapists, male, but you're going to get to try a lot of things under one roof, so that you don't have to. Switching organizations is hard. Switching dentists, switching anything is kind of a hassle. And so when I get people that I listen and honor what they're used to, and maybe it's not me, that's okay. You're going to get 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th opinions from our chiropractors, and then you're going to get to pick some favorites. And we're going to really try hard to all learn what you need, and any of us be able to do it.
I like that. That's awesome.
So that's neat too.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Bledsoe, thank you so much for joining us and just kind of giving us an outlook on what chiropractic care even is. I know you're crazy busy, so it means so much that you took some time out for us.
I love it. This is fun. Thank you so much for inviting me. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, you know how this works. Me and Dr. Bledsoe are going to keep chatting for my patrons only. I always do a few extra questions. If you want to hear those, hop on my Patreon at patreon.com/TownsendTmusic. That is how we keep this You're Not Alone with Townsend project going. We're able to do these podcasts and just keep this thing going. So hop over there if you want to hear the extra questions. If not, we will catch you next time.
They're going to be good. Little teaser.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this interview, visit patreon.com/TownsendTmusic. And don't forget, you can also watch the interviews on our YouTube channel at Townsendtmusic YouTube.
If you're looking to buy or sell, I have the perfect realty company for you. Clark & Co. Realty is located in the Benton, Bryant, Arkansas area. And they understand that buying or selling a home is more than just a transaction. It's a life-changing experience. That's why their team of highly seasoned real estate professionals is dedicated to providing exceptional, personalized services for all their clients. They truly take great pride in the relationships they build, and they always work relentlessly on the client's behalf to help them achieve their perfect real estate goals. They always have the client in mind, and I can speak firsthand when I say how reliable, trustworthy, and quick they were. When I was looking to buy my first home, they were there with me every step of the way, answering every question I could think of. They showed me a great amount of knowledge and patience through the process. It's no wonder they've won so many awards for their outstanding services and their excellent relationships with clients. So if you're looking to buy or sell, there is no better option than Clark & Co. Realty.